All right, so in this video, I am going to be solving the sample test of the IMSA arithmetic exam that's posted basically on the admission assessments of Algonquin College website. This is basically going to be a couple of fraction and decimal and percentage kind of questions that you need to do as an entrance exam to get into certain programs. It's going to be multiple choice. It's going to be 20 questions. I'm going to solve most of them on the questions sheet, but some of them might need a bit of additional space. Now, when you're preparing for this test, it's not only important to do this sample test, but you should also use the free app. They have an Accuplacer. It says it's a free app. I used it in the past, and you should go through that Accuplacer app and do all the questions in the sections that you have for the exam. Again, this section is specifically the arithmetic one, and it's the intermediate math skills assessment. It's not the advanced one or the statistics one. So let's get started. And again, this one, you're not allowed a calculator in this. So we're going to be doing all these questions without a calculator. So question number one, which of the following fractions is equal to 0.06? So when we're converting from a decimal to a fraction, we just write the number on the top with no decimal point. So 006 is just 6. I'm going to write that as 6. And then the number on the bottom always starts with a 1. It's a multiple of 10 basically. And the number of zeros in the denominator is the number of decimal places in the original question. So over here I have 2 decimal places. So I'm going to put 2 zeros. So my answer is 6/100, which is D. Question number 2 says a club has 36 members. If each member donates 12 items for an auction, how many items will there be in the auction? So if you want to think about this logically, let's think about it. Let's say a club had 2 members and each member donated 12 items. How many items would be there in the auction? Well, that's a bit easy. That's 2 times 12, which is 24 items. So in this case, if I have 36 members, I'm doing 36 times 12. To give me the total number of items. I'll actually do it on the side here because I'm going to run out of space there. So when I'm doing multiplication, I'm going to do 6 times 2 first. 6 times 2 is 12. I'm going to carry over the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Then I'm going to put a 0 here for the next line. I'm going to do 6 times 1 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Then I'm going to add these two up. 7 plus 6 is 13. Carry over 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. So final answer, there will be 432 items. Okay, let's go to question number 3. We have 4/10 plus 3/100. So when you're adding two fractions or subtracting two fractions, you have to make a common denominator. So what's my lowest common denominator between these two? It's 100. If I multiply 10 on the top and bottom here, this will also be 100. I'm going to multiply the top by 10. I'm going to multiply the bottom by 10. So I get 40/100 plus 3/100. Now I have a common denominator. I can combine these. 40 plus 3 is just 43/100. Don't change the denominator. It just stays the same. So this answer is A. A conference planner has put together 280 binders for attendees and another 31 binders for presenters. How many total binders did the planner put together for attendees and presenters? This is simply an addition question. We're just adding these two up to find the total number of binders. So when you're adding, make sure your terms are lined up correctly all the way to the left. Let me just add 0 plus 1 is 1. 8 plus 3 is 11. So I have 1 here and I carry 1 over, and 1 plus 2 is just 3. So 311 binders in total. All right, fourth question. A store stocked 150 cans of popcorn for a weekend sale. That weekend, 72 of the cans sold. What percent of the cans was sold that weekend? So to find the percentage, we take the term that we want. So we're going to take the number of cans of popcorn that was sold. So that is 72. We divide by the original number of cans. So originally we had 150. And then we multiply this answer by 100. So this is a bit of a tough calculation to do without a calculator. You want to start by just simplifying it. So 10 zeros can cancel over here at the end. That's the easiest thing to start with. Then I can cancel these two by dividing them both by 5. So this becomes a 2 and this becomes a 3. So now I have 72 times 2 divided by 3. I'm going to do, because these are all whole numbers, I'm going to do 72 divided by 3 first. I'll do it on the side over here using long division. Probably not. 72 divided by 3. So first, how many times does 7 go, or 3 go into 7? It goes 2 times in. And then I'm going to subtract 6 because 2 times 3 is 6. I'm left with 1 when I subtract these. I bring down the 12. And then how many times does 3 go into 12? It goes 4 times into 12. Minus 12. And then I just get a remainder of 0. So 72 divided by 3 is just 24. So I have 24 times 2. And 24 times 2 is just 48%. Should be able to do this calculation mentally. If you can't, multiply it out using your multiplication tables. Question number 5, which number in the list above has the greatest value? So if you look at these, we can automatically cross off this one because 2.28 is way bigger than that one, 0.199. So it's between one of these three. So what you want to do is you want to do long division for the fractions over here to convert them into decimals. But if we look at this one, 10 divided by 12, we know 10 divided by 12 is less than 1 because 12 divided by 12 is 1. So this is definitely less than 1. So I can cross this one off as well. It's one of these two numbers that are going to have the greatest value. So let's do 8 divided by 3 using long division to turn it into a decimal. 3 goes 2 times into 8. 2 times 3 is 6. If I subtract this, I'm going to get a remainder of 2. Now 2 cannot be divided by 3, so I'm going to put a decimal point over here. I'm going to add a 0 over here. This is how we add decimals and get decimals from long division. 3 goes 6 times into 20. Subtract 18 and I get 2. So I know 2.6, I could keep going further, but I know 2.6 is definitely larger than 2.28. So my answer for the greatest has to be 8 over 3. So the question 7, a percentage question. Manuel deposits 25% of $130 into his savings account. What is the amount of its deposit? When it says $25 off 130, that basically means 25% times 130 because an off generally means a multiply. I want to convert this into a fraction, so I'll divide by 100. Oops. And then we want to simplify this. So I can cancel the zeros first to make everything a lot easier. 10 and 25 can cancel to 2 and 5. So I have 5 over 2 times 13. I can't do 5 divided by 2, I'll get a decimal. I can't do 13 divided by 2, I'll get a decimal. So I'll first do 5 times 13. 13 times 5, 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So 13 times 5 is 65. So this is just 65 divided by 2. And then you can do this mentally, but if you can't do it mentally, we'll do it over here. 2 goes 3 times into 6. 2 goes 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4, and then you have 1. We put a decimal place here and a 0 because we can't divide those, and then 2 goes 5 times into 10. So my answer is C, $32.5. Next one, addition question, 1582 plus 761. I'll squeeze it in over here. 1 plus 1 is 2. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry over the 1. 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 1 plus 1 is 2. So my final answer is 2, 3, 4. Oh, I wrote the question wrong. That's a 2, not a 1. And that's actually a 3. The answer is actually 2, 3, 4, 3. Wyoming is making cookies. Each batch of cookie uses 3 eggs. Wyoming has 20 eggs, and assuming he can get enough of the other ingredients to make the cookies, what is the greatest number of batches that he can make? So basically, we can do division over here. We can do 20 divided by 3 if we want. Or we can just think of this logically. If he makes 1 batch, it's 3 eggs. If he makes 2 batches, it's 3 times 2, which is 6 eggs. 3 batches is 9 eggs. 4 batches is 12 eggs. 5 batches is 15. 6 batches is 18 eggs. And then 7 batches is 21 eggs, but he has only 20 eggs. So this would not be possible to make the 7th batch, which means the maximum number of batches he can make is 6. Here we just have addition with decimals. So again, you just want to line things up correctly. Make sure the decimal is in the same area for each one. 0.4, 0.117, and then we're going to add these up. So 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry over 1. 1 plus 5 plus 1 is 7. 8 plus 1 is 9. And 3 plus 0 is just 0. Final answer is C, 3.971. All right, halfway through. Let's get to the rest of them. Which of the following is equivalent to 8 divided by 25? So we have to do long division over here. 8 divided by 25. 8 cannot be really divided by 25, so because 25 doesn't go into 8, so we actually have to start with putting 0 point over here, and when we add a decimal, we add a 0 over here. 25 goes 3 times into 80, so minus 3 times 25 is 75, and I'll get 5 over here. And then 25 doesn't go into 5, but once you have the decimal place, you can keep adding zeros to get the next value. 50 divided by 25 is just 2. Final answer is B, 0.32. What is the remainder when 599 is divided by 9? So let's do the division here. 9 doesn't go into 5, so I'll think about 54. 9 times 6 is 54. If I subtract this, I get 5. Again, I'm going to bring down the 9, and again, this is a 6. So if I subtract 54 again, 6 times 9 is 54. My remainder is just going to be 5. The right answer is B, for number 12. All right, let's go to the second page. The machine is currently set to a feed rate of 5.921 inches per minute. Machinist changes the setting to 6.088 inches per minute. By how much did the machinist increase the feed rate? So if we're trying to find the amount of increase, we're just subtracting the new one from the old one. So 6.088 minus 5.921. So 8 minus 1 is 7. 8 minus 2 is 6. I can't do 0 minus 9, so I have to carry 1 over, cross the 6, turn it into a 5. And this will turn into a 10. So 10 minus 9 is 1. And 5 minus 5 is 0. So right answer is 0.167 IPM, which is A. Which of the following correctly orders the values from least to greatest? Okay, so let's take a look at all of these three. 0.75% is 0.75 divided by 100, which is, so I'm going to add, because this is divided by 100, I'm going to move this 2 times basically. I'm going to move this decimal place over 2 times, which means going to be 2 zeros and a decimal there. So this is 0.0075. The divide by 100 added the 2 extra decimal places here. Then 0.075 is definitely greater than this. And 3 divided by 4, you should know this mentally. 3/4 is 0.75. So the smallest one is 0.75%. Then the next smallest is 0.075, and then the biggest is 0.75. So the right answer in this question is A. What is 2.84 times 3.9? So it is multiplying with decimals here, but again, the steps are pretty much exactly the same. Actually, I'm going to change the steps a bit. It's not exactly the same. So we're going to start by writing out these two terms with no decimal places at all. Okay, we get rid of the decimals, we'll do the multiplication, and we'll add the decimals in the final answer. 4 times 9 is 36. 8 times 9 is 72 plus 3 is 75. 2 times 9 is 18 plus 7 is 25. Put a 0 over here. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry on a 1. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 1 is 25. Carry on a 2. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. I'm going to add these up. So 6, 7, 5 plus 5 is 10. So 0, carry 1. 1 plus 2 plus 8 is 11. So I get 11,076. Now I just have to add the decimal places. So if I look at this question in total, I have 1 decimal place here, and I have 2 decimal places here, and I have a 1 decimal place here. In total, I have 3 decimal places. So my answer is going to have 3 decimal places in total. So point is going to be here because 1, 2, 3. So right answer is 11.076. Next question, what is 0.8637 rounded to the nearest hundredth? Hundredth means 2 decimal places. So we want to round to the 6 over here. If I'm rounding this number, I look at the next number. If the next number is between 0 to 4, I round down and I keep this number the same. If the next number is 5 to 9, I round up and I add 1 to this number. So because this is a 3, I'm going to round down, which means this just stays the exact same. So right answer is A, 0.86. 60% of what number is equal to 30? So this is a bit of a different question because normally we do 60% of some number, we multiply these two and we get this answer. Now it's a bit backwards. I'm going to use a bit of algebra over here. So 60% of is multiply what number? I'm going to just write that as an n. And this is going to equal to 30. Now we just have to solve this. So 60% times n is 60 over 100 times n equals 30. I'll start by canceling these zeros because that's going to make things a lot easier. I can't cancel this 0 with this because there's an equal to sign here. So you can't cancel across equal to signs. So now I have 6 over 10 times n equals 30. I'm going to multiply this across over here. So now I just have 6 times n equals 10 times 30 is 300. And then I'm just going to divide by 6 on both sides to isolate my n. So 300 divided by 6, you should know this mentally. It's just 50. If you don't know it mentally, you can do it using long division. The right answer here is 50. If 4 divided by 3 divided by 1 divided by 6 equals to p, then the value of p is between which of the following pairs of numbers? So let's calculate this out. 4 divided by 3 divided by 1 over 6. I'm going to start by flipping my divide into a multiply and flipping this fraction upside down. Then I'm going to simplify this. The 3 and 6 can simplify to 1 and 2, dividing them both by 3. If I do 4 times 2, I just have 8. 1 times 1 is 1, so I have 8 over 1, which is just 8. 8 is between 7 and 9, so right answer is D. And last two questions. Which of the following inequalities is true? So we're going to be doing a lot of division over here. Start with the first one. I know 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. You should know this mentally, but if you don't, you can do it with long division. 5 divided by 7. Let me do the long division over here. 5 divided by 7. 7 doesn't go into 5. So I have to start by adding a 0 point. And I can add a 0 here. 7 times 7 is 49. If I subtract these, I have a 1. 7 doesn't go into 1, so I'll add another 0. And now 7 goes 1 times into 10 minus 7 times 1 is 7, remainder is 3. So this is approximately 0.71. So 0.75 less than 0.71. We know this is not true because 0.75 is greater than 0.71. So A is definitely not the right answer here. Let's try B. 2 divided by 3. Again, that's simple. It's 0.666, repeating forever. You should know 2/3 is that value. 5 divided by 6. Let's do the long division. For that one, 5, 6. 5 doesn't go, 6 doesn't go into 5, so I'm going to put 0 point over here. And then I'm going to add a 0 here. 6 times 8 is 48. And I subtract 2, so I can compare these automatically. 0.666, this is 0.8 something. There's other values after that are not important in this case. If I compare these two, 0.666 is less than 0.8, so B is definitely not true either. Let's do 5 divided by 8 next. 5, 8. And sign here is greater. 6 divided by 10 is 0.6, by the way. That's pretty simple. You should know how to do that straight away. 8 doesn't go into 5, so I'm adding a 0 point here and a 0 here. 8 times 6 is 48. Subtract this, I will get 2. Add another 0 because I can't compare 0.6 and 0.6. I need more decimals. 8 goes 2 times 16, subtract 4. So 0.62 is greater than 0.6, which means C has to be true. And last question over here. Carol works at a bookstore and a restaurant. In a 28-day period, Carol worked 1/4 of the days at the bookstore and did not work 1 out of 14 of the days. On the remaining days, Carol worked at the restaurant. How many days did Carol work at the restaurant during the 28-day period? So let's start with the bookstore. Carol worked 1 out of 4 times 28 days at the bookstore because 1/4 of the 28 days were worked at the bookstore. If I cancel this and this, that's 1 and 7. So 1 divided by 1 is 1 times 7 is just 7 days at the bookstore. Then let's do did not work. 1 out of 14 of the days. So 1 out of 14 times 28. I can cancel this, it's a 1. Cancel this, it's a 2. And then 1 divided by 1 times 2 is just 2 days. So Carol worked 7 days at the bookstore, did not work 2 days. So that's 9 days in total over there. A 28-day period, I'll do 28 minus 9 to give me 19 days worked at the restaurant. So the last answer is B. And that's it for this test. If you made it to the end, please like and subscribe, and you can also comment and let me know if there are any other tests or entrance exams that you would like me to make for this channel.